This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Hey there, it's Brian Sebastian, movie reviews and more. And if it's Tuesday, obviously we're live because we're never taped. Streaming on Talk4 Media, Talk4 TV, K4HD Radio, streaming on over 100 outlets around the world right now, which is what I love. Also streaming on Worldwide TV Network, WomenOnTV.tv, iTunes 247 out of Franklin, Tennessee. And I love that because now we're almost at 14 million viewers around the world and not on YouTube on that outlet, which is great. I'm happy for that. And one of the shows that's reached 2.4 million, another one reached 1.2 million. So that's a good thing. So this show, why it's special, because it takes a while for us to get on certain people on. I mean, we're booked for the rest of the year, right up until the last 2 weeks of December. I wanted my friend Emma on, he's like, when are you going to have me on? I'm like, I had to wait because I wanted to make it special. And, Eugene, I met him through the easy way. So it's interesting when Eric Zulli's got a bunch of people on because they're just fascinating people. And Brian, I don't know Brian yet, but this movie called The Path kind of scared me a little bit, which is interesting. So that made me, I said, this has got to be interesting because I can only imagine what else he comes up with. But you know what? He's that co-founder of Frost Pictures and a producer of Path. And I love this slogan that you talked about. Each movie is the start of a new business. And that's such a great line. Because it's true. Em knows about that. I'm sure Eugene knows about that because they're both buyers and, Emmanuel's a producer director and everything like that. He's going to talk about all the stuff that he's done. That's fascinating to me because as a movie whore that I am, that is definitely the case. And I always tell people it takes a long time for movies to come out and you never know when they're going to come out. And I'm going to talk about the National Film Festival later because they've got some good films that I've seen that I've kind of been sharing with people. They're really, really good. So with Eugene, it's always about, let's see, he's ran an international filmmaking organization for about 21 years, sales and marketing person that he sold films around the world for about 11, 12 years. And you know what? He's quite interesting. I love this poster, lead the way, be the solution. I love that because I think it's fascinating. And it's one of those things where, you know what? You got that studio. If I remember correctly, it's without borders and walls that specializes in a different type of entertainment. And you have to forgive me if I screw up on anybody. I do this off the top of my head. So, but I love that because someone else on the other side does something sort of like this. It took me 16 years to believe in world peace. And it was one of those things. And once you believe it, it doesn't go away. He's had some fascinating films that he's put in. Let's see. Let's go back to 2012. So first of all, he's an award winner first. That producer, that director. I loved calling him Frenchie M. But it's one of those things when I first saw, I think it was Evocation 2012, narrated by Sharon Stone. And it had the Dalai Lama on it. It had Desmond Tutu, Deepak Chopra, and a bunch of other world peace activists. And that got me. Because I've been practicing Buddhism for 34 years now, and I really like this because it's all about world peace for him. He's also, he's been that I forgot he did this. I forgot he was a music journalist. He's done a lot of stuff for the French company. He actually, if I remember correctly, I just thought about this. If I remember, didn't you run for president of France too? If I remember correctly. But he's also been on the board of Santa Barbara Film Festival, one of my favorite film festivals. He is also, let's see, what is the Rotary Club of World Peace. And man, the stuff that I forgot that you did was fascinating. If you ever get a chance, Howard, you talk about your Facebook, you got to check out Emmanuel's Facebook. I forgot that he did all of these things because he did junkets on the French side, international side. I did them on the domestic side. And when he would invite me to the parties at different hotels, boy, we got a chance to have some fun. And he was gracious enough to let me stay there because if I had too much to drink, I wasn't going anywhere. But but it's been fun. The one and only Emmanuel Itier. And so also got to talk about a co-host. I didn't get a chance to call her to check on her today. Not you, Terry, yet. Talking about Chef Rachel Roberts out of Houston, Texas. I didn't get a chance to call her because I was busy. No. But she's that fascinating person. And, whenever she calls me, we have some great conversations. And then Howard, we're going to go to you soon because I never know what your internet is going to be like. And I think everybody's got storms coming up because there's a hurricane coming,
little
right?
Trouble.
See, you can tell. But he is country royalty, and he's got I got some good things coming up for him too. And then we got nonstop Terry Marie. Terry, I don't even know where Terry is right now. She could be in Ventura. She could be anywhere. Don't say where you are, Terry. We don't want people stalking you in general. Okay. So with that, she's been with me for 10 years. So I want to start up with this. Eugene, let's start up with you. So let's talk about Lead the Way, Be the Solution. Where did this come from? Because I like the poster. It looks interesting to me.
Well, it's out streaming around the world right now. And I guess you could say it's very timely because it's the story of Patrick Lee, who is legally blind and autistic, the perfect candidate for president of the United States. So, and our films, I say all our films are different because they're more than movies. They're a movement for positive change. So if you want to see something about maybe a apolitical film about a political election, watch Lead the Way.
All right. And with that, Brian, let's talk about you. Let's start off with you being in hockey because it sounds like your background was fascinating, first of all. I haven't met anybody else who was in the hockey, who really loved hockey like you do. And if I remember correctly, you went to Villanova. I was Connecticut. I went to Central Connecticut and New Britain, Connecticut. So, we would play against you occasionally, but it was one of these things. I became a Bruin fan because it was the Red Sox and the Bruins, or it was the Yankees and, the Islanders, or, but I love individual people. Talk about your background and also getting into how you produce The Path, because it's a fascinating film.
Right. So when I went to Villanova, I had some electives to choose from, and one was film. And so I kind of took it as if it was going to be an easy class. But then the teacher was phenomenal. We went through everything from producing to shooting, and I just fell in love with the movie side of the business when I was a freshman at school. And I was studying finance. So with me, I'm an entrepreneur by heart. So when I really took to the movie side of the classes, and I said, this is I bet I could start businesses by creating. And like I said, every movie is a brand new business, whether it be a short, it doesn't matter if it's a 5-minute short, you still have to go from beginning to middle to end. So, that could be a 5-minute business, and you still have to get it out there to the world if you want to be successful. So I just kind of took it as, I'm going to learn what I'm learning in my finance classes and then learn what I'm learning in the movie classes and the film appreciation classes, and just kind of start from there. And then I met some people, and they got me into the movie world. And so The Path is probably my 5th or 6th movie that I've produced now.
Cool. And so, Em, let's talk about you, because you know this world obviously too, and you've been around the world, I don't know how many times, doing a lot of stuff with the films that you've created, produced, and everything like that. And then, I'll let my co-hosts introduce themselves officially and talk about their projects that they come up. Let's talk about what you have coming up, because you've done a lot of stuff. I forgot that you did music stuff. I forgot that you ran for president in your home country. And I was so happy to see the Olympics in France. And I'm sure that must have been really happy, special for you too.
Yeah, for sure. No, it was exciting, And talking about what's going on right now, we are going to premiere on October 3rd our new documentary. It's called H2O, The Intelligence of Water. So it's about H2O. We're going to have a big party, big premiere. You have to come. October 3rd, downtown Los Angeles.
Oh, I'm coming. I'm going to be on the West Coast. I'm coming. I never want to miss any of his parties. If you're lucky enough to get invited to anything that M puts on,
You're coming. You're coming.
You have a blast.
Thank you.
Talk about how you started, because it's interesting. It's always interesting how people started, because we didn't get a chance to really talk to each other. You were on the international side, I was on the domestic side, but our world started to meet. And a lot of times when we don't have to go and see a movie, we got a chance to have some fun, some drinks, eat some food, and talk about our backgrounds. And that is what I love to do.
Yeah, for me, it started at age 15. I was in a class of math. I'm an idiot. I couldn't figure out what was going on the blackboard, and my brain turned all of that mathematical bullshit into a poem. And I wrote a poem in class, and I'm like, I'm not a poet. What the heck is going on with me? What's wrong? And then I went home, and at night, I had a vivid dream of that poem as a short movie. So I'm like, weird. What's going on with you? You're possessed. So I went back to school, and that was 83, 84, something like this. It's a long time ago. And, I told my friends, let's go, let's do a movie. And they're like, but you're not a filmmaker. Don't know anything about directing. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to figure it out. So the main challenge was to find cameras, because at that time you had only huge video cameras that were as big as I was. And I found one, and then we all got very drunk with a few friends, and overnight we shot a movie, and that was it. I showed that to my parents. My dad is a doctor, my mom a teacher. They were horrified. They said, "Oh, we Christ living with us." Because on top of that, it was a story of a guy committing suicide, so it was totally screwed up. But that was it. And since then, it's been from going bad to worse, But nobody's me, so I keep going, And then if you don't stop me, I'm gonna be president of France. I'm gonna challenge Trump or Harris, whoever is elected.
Thanks, because he's done a lot of stuff. Hey, Brian and Eugene, when you guys started, in the film world, I tell people I'm not that filmmaker. That's not my job. My job is to help promote them, whether it's friends or somebody that I don't know. It's not an easy world, is it? And by the way, all my co-hosts, they are actors, so you never know what you're going to do. People love what Howard does. People like Rachel's personality. Terry does a lot of different things. She's been around, but she's that Southern California girl. So you never know where you're going to find your next lead. You never know what location will be good for you. And that's fascinating to me, to have that person who wants to watch all of those films. Talk to the audience about what you guys are looking for when it comes to putting someone in your film, but also raising that money, because it's one thing to hear it from me. It's another thing to hear it from the you three.
Go ahead, Eugene.
Eugene, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah,
go ahead. What do you think? Go ahead.
How I started in the industry, how I got into it?
Yeah, and to give your advice on, the way things are going today. They've changed a lot. Emmanuel could tell you this, they've changed a lot.
Okay. Well, I would say always be on the cutting edge. That's what we've always tried to be, on the cutting edge of the industry. But when I started, I started because I came a fraction of a second from death. I was on my first date with this beautiful woman, and we were on the freeway, and suddenly I was the only car on the freeway. And I heard sirens and lights behind me, and sirens and lights coming towards me. And we were surrounded by 7 police cars. And they all had their doors open, hiding behind their doors with guns aimed at me and telling me, get out of the car, slowly, get out of the car. And my date, she was going into hysterics. She thought, oh my God, I'm on a date with public enemy number 1. But anyway, I survived that, but just barely, because one of the policemen with a shotgun came a fraction of a second from blasting my innards all over the freeway.
Wow.
So that changed my whole life. I decided I was going to write a screenplay that would solve this problem so nobody would ever go through this again. And I have a lot of chutzpah. I got it to all the major studios, most of the major producers. So it's a long story from there, so I won't continue. But that's how the story started. That's how I got involved. I decided that the motion picture, the entertainment industry would be my vehicle to solving problems. Those are some great pictures from Lead the Way.
Great.
I didn't know he was blind. That's interesting. I want to see it at that point because we're starting to deal with people who are blind and who are deaf. Those are important to me because there's a whole audience out there and stuff. We're going to get into Howard's photos in a little bit, but that makes it quite interesting of all that stuff. Hey, Brian, talk about this. What are you looking at when you're producing these films? Because you're on your 6th film, you said, Path, right?
Yes. So it's one of the hardest things to do is raise the money. You have an idea, you have a script, and then you approach people and say, listen, I got a movie. I got a really great idea. I want to put this to film. And people are like, some people like, you're absolutely nuts. I'm not putting money into a film. I'll watch it, but that's about it. And then because I'm on my 4th or 5th film, this Path would be a 6th. I kind of put it out there, and people have always asked me, how do I get involved in films? I said, well, one of the first ways to do is let's invest. I'll show you the script. I'll show you our platform, and I'll show you what we want to do. So that's what happened with this last film. We actually have 3 new executive producers on this film who've never been in movies before because of my history in films. So that was entertaining. That there's a caveat to that, right? So when you bring in new people, now you got the pressure of really performing. And I always say, listen, our goal was to make a movie. And when we wrapped, I said, look, we made our movie. We obviously have to go to, finish it, but in post, right? But I said, listen, we made our movie. That's what you raised the money for. The hardest part is now going to start. So as executive producers, when I say, listen, post this stuff, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more you guys work with us, the money is we're not going to just give you money back in a year. You guys have to help us. You guys have to post. You guys have to come to premieres. You guys have to talk about the movie, because if you guys let it sit there and don't tell your friends and things like that, it's going to be hard. And I said the hardest part of the movie is the second part, is getting it out to the world and getting it out for exposure.
And that's why I have no life, because I'm always promoting everybody's things. Let's take a look at this trailer.
My dad lived for this place.
That's right. I did see you had the place up for sale. I've been meaning to stop in and check on you girls. The place. I mean, we're practically family.
Let's spend an afternoon or evening going over the major points of the syllabus together. No pen, no paper. We do it orally.
I could have sworn I heard you leave earlier. Where would I go? Otis? Someone was in this house.
Well, that's every inch of the place. There's definitely no one here.
So you don't believe me?
No, we definitely believe something's going on here.
What is that? What do you want?
What the?
Hey, Sheriff's Department! Hands! No move! On your knees! Hands in the air! Hands!
Can ghosts kill people?
The paranormal. Yes.
They found the girl's body out by the edge of the road in a trash bag. There are a million really strange things that have happened around here that aren't necessarily related.
That is hallowed ground, as far as I'm concerned. As far as a lot of us are concerned.
Nice.
All right, Brian, talk about that.
All right, so it's about I don't want to give too much away, but it's about an older sister who's got to come back to her family's farmhouse. She kind of went away to school, and something happened at the house and with the family, and now she's got to come and help raise her little sister at the house. And that house turns out to be there's a lot of history on that area. So like I said, without giving a lot away, that's really it's psychological thriller. We call it a horror film because of things that are happening, but it's not like a true blood and guts horror. It's a lot very psychological. We really lucked out when we shot this film. One of the producers, that whole set that you almost see on that farmhouse, that's one of the producers' farmhouses. So it was a really, really unique experience shooting this film because the guys got to sleep in the barn and the girls got to sleep in the farmhouse. So we all stayed on set for pretty much 30 days. And after we were done shooting, it was kind of cool. There was a bar in the farmhouse. There was a pool table and there was a barbecue. So we really got to be pretty close. It was a really unique, something that I've never experienced on shooting before, because a lot of times it's hotels and people driving in, leaving the next day. We had actors doing one-day shoots that I would come back like 2 days later. I'm like, what are you doing? And he was like, this is cool. I'm not leaving. I'm just hanging out. So I see them like literally like picking up booms and wrapping up like people. I'm like, you could have left 2 days ago. He goes, I don't want to. So I'm like, you're not getting paid. He goes, nope, just feed me. So.
Hey, that's fun about it. That's when you know you have a good environment at that point.
Yeah. And what was really funny, in the script we had the dog. There's a dog in the movie, and his name was Otto, and the producers who own the house, his dog's name was Otis. So we just switched Otto to Otis, and Otis is now in our movie. So he was probably one of the. Yeah, he was really well. He's never been on film set before, and he was great. So look out for the dog.
All right, Terry, tell him who you are, and unmute.
Am I on mute? Oh,
yeah, there you go.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Terry Marie. I've been with Brian for about 10 years. Doing red carpet events with Brian, and obviously the podcast. Fitness competitor, businesswoman, artist, actress. So that's why they call me nonstop. So I'm glad to be here. I am a huge like horror movie fan. Like basically the psychological ones. I don't really like the slasher movies. That's not my thing. I'm not into like the Nightmare on Elm Street. No, that's not me. It's the thriller suspense that makes you think and keeps you on your edge of your toes. Whoops. And that's I'm excited to see that movie.
It's a thriller. You'll like it.
Yeah.
Howard Wiggins. Let's see. We got to make sure that we have Howard good tonight because we have a couple little surprises for you. All right, Howard, go ahead.
Okay. I'm Howard Wiggins. Last week I forgot to mention Diana Firefly, where I play Nigel the rabbit in her book Over the Hill and Through the Woods. Excuse me. I've got a Christmas book coming out. That's Patricia Hart McMillan. It's the third time I've been in her book. I've got a movie coming out, Who's Going to Take Care of Me, which we filmed in Hollywood at a later point. And I've got another movie locally. It's called Without Warning, and that's coming up. So, and I'm one of the world's 35 leading interior designers. And my father was Little Roy Wiggins, plays steel guitar for Eddie Arnold, Lori Morgan, Ernie Ashworth,
and several Opry stars. Actually, one of the founders of the Grand Ole Opry. So.
And before we get to Rachel, let's show a couple more photos of what Howard's house looks like. I always joke with him that he has a mansion of everything because he's got art and everything that you can imagine in there, which is a good thing. All right, let's take a couple of, like, I love this. Look how clean that is. I love this.
Well, that's actually my laundry room turned into a coffee bar. So,
I like that.
What
is this one right here?
That's the columns. It's called the Grand Tours from the 1700s. It's an original art piece where the bird and the bow. The hands are off of a old sculpture that's just part of the sculpture. The stone is an antique stone, but the fragment that is sitting on is molding from 1700s. And the table is also from the 1700s. It's a Pembroke table. So that's the coffee bar. Now that's my bedroom. It's the bed is over 400 years old. The vases are imperial. The vases are imperial yellow vases. They used to belong to the last emperor of China. So. Another shot in the laundry room, coffee room.
You weren't kidding when you said you got everything into your house.
Yeah. And that was my son's bedroom. We used to play Last Emperor. I used to put him on the bed and bow down to him. But anyway, that was his room. So
let's show this last one, and then we're gonna go to Rachel.
Okay, that's the entryway at Christmas time. I had that painting done where the Madonna and Child comes out of the painting. It's all done in wood, done by Bruce Matthews. And that's just for Christmas.
And what room are you in today? Or I should say tonight.
I'm in the living room. I'm in the living room, so that's it.
Chef Rachel Roberts.
Hello. So my name is Rachel Roberts, Rachel Ann Roberts. You can follow me on Facebook, Rachel Ann Roberts, Rachel Roberts Recipes on Instagram. I have a little show in the morning called Coffee Talk. I talk about bullshit. Yeah, and every now and then I work with Fox News. I do a little, I'm going to do a TV show coming up. It's a comedy cooking stunt show. I'm excited about that, and I've been asked to be in a movie coming up too. So acting and cooking. So funny, I've been asked to do the cooking on the movie set. Like, they're like, oh, could you do both? I'm like, yeah, I can do it. So yeah.
See, and a couple years ago she would have.
I can't talk about it.
What's the name of it? Okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you later.
Yeah, see, everybody knows what that's like, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, Em, talk about this. It was interesting to know, you're still doing some junkets here and there, but also, what it's like to raise that money. And that's never easy, especially when you're doing documentaries, because yours are timeless of what I've seen. I love them. Talk about, do you have a baby? Which one of those is your baby, would you say? Emmanuel.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear. You mean my favorite movie of all?
Of yours that you've done.
Yeah, I'm very proud of the one I did about women, because as a Frenchman, obviously, I fall in love every 5 seconds. So, so it was great to go around the world and hang out with, 1,000 women and trying to understand a bit more what you are all about. So this way, I'm more of an educated asshole that I was before, and a little more accessible, maybe, a little bit less rough and macho idiot. So I'm very proud of this one, FEMME-Women healing the world. But I'm equally proud of the one we just finished on water. One I'm also quite proud is the previous one I did just before the pandemic. It was about guns, bombs, and war. Because it's always the eternal debate about guns and war. And I say, well, who cares about guns? Because I can kill you with my own hands. So it's not the tool that's danger. It's really the brain behind. The spirit. So what are you going to say?
Let's see. We'll be pleasantly surprised.
Why do we kill each other? I've always been interested in this question, and I still, don't know exactly the answer, but I see that we still do it.
To drop bombs from the sky on cities and little children, could you think of anything more horrific? And we don't bring our children into the world to do that. But tragically, we have so many militarized cultures.
At the beginning of every conflict, there is a unstable and unbalanced mind.
You will not replace us.
There's a fear of diversity, and the funny thing is the diversity has actually already happened.
Until we get rid of the violence in our own hearts, there will always be violence in the world. Whether it's a war between a man and a woman or a war between nations, it's all really the same phenomenon.
It was a calling from the young people out of the mouth of babe to the community. Let's save our generation of our sons now and those that are coming up with love. There was another one with peace and with unity.
We choose life, we choose love. No weapon of God shall take our sons, for we are one community.
We have a way of reacting biologically to uncertainty. And so our natural disposition, when we're afraid and feel as though our world is not stable anymore, is to fight for it.
As long as fear rules, there will be the need for safety.
If we don't feel safe, we can't function. So I think a lot of what's going on is fear-based politics.
Throws us into fight or flight, and the very next thing that we're doing is interpreting every circumstance as a potential danger, and then we build a case for it. We validate it, step into it as though it's true, and the next thing you know, we're at war.
We are into a phase of continuous permanent wars around the globe.
We have always had different groups killing each other.
However, now our tribal warfare has put us in a position that we could annihilate everything.
The danger of nuclear war is greater than it was even during the Cold War.
We face the real possibility of universal death.
We are very worried because it's so easy to destroy, but it's so difficult to fix.
Takes 2 seconds, just 2 seconds. Pull the trigger, and yeah, the life is gone.
Voila.
Well, good timing of what you were talking about, wasn't it?
Yeah. Sadly, that's us right now. Nothing has changed since 10,000 years. Seems like we never learn. And it's bad leadership ultimately. I mean, if you look at all our leaders, they are clowns and bozos and gangsters, and all they do is, try to steal from each other. And it's sad because we are all interconnected and interdependent. There is a saying that I am because we are, and it's true. You cannot. No man or no woman is his own island. We are all dependent of each other. So why are we at war? Because some people are really idiots and greedy and just plain stupid. That's all. I mean, the business of war kills potential customers. What type of business is that?
I get it. I totally understand. Let's talk about this other side. You also helped with this weird film with our friend, Anthony, a film called, anybody see Sharknado? Did anybody see those films? Rachel, you didn't see Sharknado? The shark movies?
Is that something you sent to me?
No.
Oh.
I wish we had it. I should have put it up there. You know what? I think I don't know. We got a couple photos of his, but talk about Sharknado because that's something that you had a piece of too.
Well, basically, I've been a partner with Anthony Ferrante for 8 years, and he did a lot of horror movies for a company called The Asylum. We teamed up several times when I directed a movie called Scarecrow, which is a pretty cool horror movie that was on the Sci-Fi Channel. And then, basically what happened is he was shopping that crazy idea of making a movie with sharks flying in a tornado. And, I found the company, and the rest is history. They did 6 movies or 7, and I think they're trying to reboot it. So huge success. Definitely.
Exactly. So it was quite interesting seeing a lot of those things like that. All right, let's take a look at all right, Eugene, yours is next. Let's take a look at this.
Hi. I'm Patrick Lee.
Patrick Lee?
Most of you know presidential candidates. There's some that are not as popular or as famous.
I announced my candidacy for the President of the United States of America.
I like what you have to say. Have you held any office?
President of Oberonda.
We can have a feast in here, and this could double as a campaign office.
I agree.
We need to get you a new wardrobe. You can't wear those in public.
Why not?
Definitely a stereotype. I want this country to fly, to soar. And you are the feathers in these wings.
I can't speak like that.
No. When I'm finished with you, you'll be able to do it.
Besides the fact that you're blind, I also understand that you're autistic. Jorge, siga filmando porque este señor está loco. Keep rolling.
I need you like the windmill needs the breeze, like the crop needs the rain, like the stew needs the pigeon.
I have many loyal supporters.
Do you really believe this man can become president?
Why do you want to become president? I have a mission.
A mission you will never accomplish.
A mission that I must accomplish.
You will be able to soar.
I wanted to have a family. I wanted to have a legacy so that others would know that I had existed. I finally found my family. You are my family.
What is your opinion of candidate Lee?
Well, I don't think he's prepared to be president.
For once, I pretty much agree with Bill.
Hey. Oh.
I didn't do anything wrong. The whole government's coming down on me.
You came out of nowhere, and they don't know how to deal with you.
This campaign is not just a campaign for the presidency. It is a campaign that will change the whole political system. The process starts right here, right now.
We don't need cheeks and sandwiches telling us what to do.
Bravo. Woo.
Eugene, that's interesting. I want to see that. I haven't seen that one yet.
Great. I would love to get all of your feedback. I would. Yes.
How do we see that?
It's streaming around the world. It's on, I think, 12 different platforms right now, including I just about everyone from Prime Video to YouTube to Tubi. You can watch it almost any place now.
And Emmanuel, talk about where we could see some of your past films too.
They're on Amazon Prime, on iTunes. Mainly iTunes, Amazon Primes, and I'm sure other platforms. Just type my name and film, and I'm sure there's a long list of stuff that, and all the horror movies are probably on Sci-Fi online or maybe Netflix. Not sure. I mean, I've done so many. I kind of
You've done so much stuff too. What's your next interview that you're doing? That's how I knew him. He does interviews for the French International junkets.
Right now I'm covering virtually the Toronto International Film Festival, so it's a lot of indie movies. Like this morning I did a Zoom interview with some Persian Iranian director, some Canadian director, so unknown people, but very interesting upcoming people. I'm interested with that. And if not, I'm just starting my next documentary, which is going to be a companion movie to the one I did about women. And this time it's going to be about us men, because I think men are going through a pretty existentialist crisis. I don't think they know where they are anymore. So it's called The Growth of Men, and it's going to be a study about us and where we're going. It's going to be very interesting.
And Brian, when can we see some of your past films also?
One that's a little on the older side right now called Walk a Mile in My Prada's. I believe that's still on Amazon Prime. That was with the late Nathaniel Marston. Who else was in that one? That was there's a bunch of people. I'm trying to think. Tom Archdeacon was in that. Mike Starr, Tom Arnold. That was a fun movie to shoot. So that's on Amazon Prime. There was one called The Boy. I think they're all basically on Prime, just all the other typical venues right now.
I wanted to ask you three. Is it hard to get movies on Amazon Prime and Tubi and things? What's the process for that? Because there's so many movies out there that don't have distribution.
Yeah, you need to find an aggregator. You need to find a sales company that has a relationship with them. They're kind of jerks, for little guys like us. They don't even reply to your email. So it's sad. And it wasn't like this. It's really, within like, I would say 2-3 years, the platform has become these virtual studios. And studios, as we know, used to treat independent like shit until you become, big overnight, which is very rare because it's a fluke, to be successful in life. It's not only about hard work, it's about luck as well. It's about timing. It's about many things. It's not only about you. That's a reality. So, yeah, it's tough. So you need to basically find a sales company or a big producer who has deal with them. If not, you can contact them. I mean, obviously, we'll all have access to MDB Pro and Sinando, so it's easy to find their emails, but they won't reply to you. So you have to find the middle person, the middle company.
Hey, Brian, was it hard for you to get yours distribution for a path?
It's hard because sometimes you, as Emmanuel was saying, you team up with someone that you think is going to be able to get into all these aggregators and get you onto the platforms. And sometimes what happens is it takes time and they don't promise what you have. So you're sitting there because you got a signed contract. And sometimes you have to push that and say, listen, you haven't done what you said. And as Emmanuel was saying, it's when you're independent, right? You try to reach out to everyone you know. And if you sign a bad deal or you sign something that looks better towards us, meaning the independent makers, sometimes that's not the best deal. It is going with someone who's reputable, who definitely look at their credentials, definitely look at what they've done. And that's what we did with, we're with Stonecutter now, and these guys are amazing. It's just a matter of picking and choosing and hoping for the best. And when you find someone who's good, you got to create a team. And I think everyone here will agree that when independent films, when you start the process of creating teams, kind of stick with it.
And Eugene, you've been on that sales and marketing side, so you know what it's like to buy it too. And M2, you know what it's like to buy some of these films. Also, it's the world has changed. AFM is in Vegas now. It used to be in Santa Monica. Toronto Film Festival is one of my best film festivals that I would love to go see. Same thing with Santa Barbara. Now I'm really liking National Film Festival. But Howard, this is why it takes so long for your films to come out that you're in, because they've got to get distribution. And a lot of times, hey, this movie's going to come out next year, but next year could be 2 years from now because of what these guys just talked about. They know they've been doing this for a little bit, and that's frustrating for a lot of actors. And Rachel, when someone says, "Hey, got a good script for you," well, has it been purchased yet? Who's this? That's these guys know, right, Eugene?
Yes. Yeah. When I ran an organization of filmmakers for 20 years, that was our biggest problem, was distribution. Even worse than getting the money to make the films was getting them distributed properly. And that's why we formed our own distribution company. And for 11 years, we distributed our own films. Yeah.
All right, we got a couple minutes left. Rachel Roberts, what do you got coming up?
Oh, Friday, there's a tailgate party for the
Look
Texans.
at you, you're smiling already about
Yeah. Ruben with Fox News called me this morning and said, join us out at the station for a tailgate party. So that's, the next thing happening, like right around the corner.
What are you cooking?
And then I did some stuffed chicken today. It was really delicious. Yeah. Watch me on Coffee Talk in the morning, guys. It's entertaining, if nothing else.
It's all about eating clean and drinking a little dirty for her.
Drinking a little dirty, yeah.
Yes.
And Howard,
I know.
Yeah.
Hey Howard, what else you got coming up?
My birthday coming up.
Mine too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then also you're going to Nashville Film Festival too, because I can't make it, so you're gonna go.
Okay. Send me the dates.
And Terry?
We're going to the Olympia in October. That's going to be fun. We're covering that. I'm excited. Also, I'm training a new rep at my company, which is fun. She's like 22 years old, so it's good to see somebody bright, all the energy for somebody who wants to learn about, being in medical sales. So it's fun. I'm having fun with her. And at the gym every day as usual.
Hey Brian, give your social media links how people can reach out and look at Path, where to find it, if it's going to a film festival or anything, wherever it may go. This is important because it's always about supporting the arts.
Right. So we are doing a New Jersey screening this Thursday at Kevin Smith's Theater in Atlantic Highlands called Smod Castle. And then we fly out to LA in the following Thursday, the 19th. We do a press screening in LA. And then on September 24th, we go live. So the Path_horror movie is where our Instagram. So everything will be on there. If you could follow us there, that'd be great. And like I said, I'll be out in LA on the 19th. If anyone wants to reach out and see a movie, let me know.
Will do. Eugene, lead. Where can you find? We know it's streaming, but we want to make sure that people can find it because there's so many movies out there. I will take 15 and 20 minutes and dig deep. A lot of people won't take that time.
Right. They can actually go to that QR code right above me there, and that will take you not just to me, but to the movie. So you can find the movie on there. The website is www.leadthewaymovie.com, spelled EELEED. Okay, LEED. Yeah.
And we lost James Earl Jones and Sergio Mendes, two icons. Did you ever interview Sergio or James Earl Jones? Of course you did, right?
Yeah, amazing people, amazing, very moving, very deep, very intellectual. Yeah, big fan. It's sad every day we lose somebody amazing. That's life. What can we do?
How can people reach out and find your films also?
You can type my name, Emmanuel Itier, and Google me, and you'll see a shit show of stuff, and then pick up the thing that interests you the most. Just reach out to me through my Facebook page, Instagram. Always reply to everybody. So,
and
I'm open 24/7, and plus now I'm divorced, so I'm available. Anybody? Yeah, you, Rachel.
He's available. I can see you two drinking already, and Terry too.
Right?
We're getting connected. It's gonna happen.
Yes.
Let me tell you, when M has his get-togethers, you never know what's gonna happen with stuff. I mean, I met some great people through him. We've had some great drinks too, which has been fun. I just got a minute left. Hey, I want to thank you guys for coming in, and everybody. You guys are welcome to come back with your next projects and everything. Because it's important to, obviously to support the arts. Also, the 55th annual National Film Festival, September 19th to the 25th, Howard. So Devo is opening night. Imagine that. Remember that band Devo?
Yeah.
That's opening night at the Nashville Film Festival. And they've got Diane Warren. They got Melissa Etheridge. They've got some good films. They got one called The Driver, Female Truck Drivers, which is fascinating. I sent one. What is it? The King and I, or The King and Me. Rebel saw that one based on Louisiana on Mardi Gras, on how they have, man, I forgot what it is. It's a Zulu, something like that. It was really good. I didn't know about it, and she enjoyed it. So, as I always say, thank you, everybody. It's not always easy just squeezing everybody in and trying to get the word out, not trying to do two, but getting the word out, which is most important. And again, you're always welcome to come back. And don't forget, these guys are actors. I am not. I just want to watch the films and help support them. And they actually are doing things. So I always say this: have a good night tonight, a better day tomorrow. You see someone without a smile, please give them one of yours, because the world needs it. Right, Em? Right, Eugene? Right, Brian? We will see you next week.
Bye.
Thank you.